You are listening to the Fit Figure Formula podcast. I help female perfectionists beat self-sabotage and lose the weight for good using the Fit Figure Formula coaching program. I'm your host, Stephanie Riles, registered dietitian, personal trainer, and mindset transformation coach. If you've been struggling with all or nothing thinking, negative self-talk, or self-sabotage, this is the podcast for you. Learn how to get consistent and become the best version of yourself from the inside out. So let's get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Fit Figure Formula podcast. I am your host, Coach Steph, and today I'm going to be talking about consistency. And I have been doing this series all of March. And if you have not gone back and listened to the previous episodes on consistency, you should definitely do that. And I'm going to be talking about consistency even if you're going on vacation. I've been hearing this time issue a lot in terms of joining the Fit Figure Formula. Well, I'll do it after I go on vacation, or I really want to start, but I'm coming up on a busy season in my life. The previous podcast was about busy seasons. So make sure that if you're having that issue and your brain is telling you to put your health on the back burner until this busy season is over, go back and listen to the previous podcast. This is just a self-sabotaging thought. Okay. So now we're going to plan for the obstacle. I'm going to give you the game. I'm going to give you a foolproof step-by-step process and exactly what I teach my clients to do to help them stop the all or nothing cycle and to get consistent, even if they're going to go on vacation, even if you have a busy season coming up. Because at the end of the day, it's really, really, really important that you don't allow these breaks because you're busy or going on vacation, etc. Time is always an issue. I actually just got off a call with someone, and what I got from our conversation, this was an interest call to join the formula. And her objection was like time. And what I got from that is like, the Fit Figure Formula is going to save you time. In the long run, this process is going to save you time because a lot of you are already planning and working out and researching and trying to figure it out on your own. And that's taking up a lot of time. Your life is literally passing you by, and that's taking up a lot of time. It's the fear of joining the formula that is actually the issue. Fear is going to take away and steal more time than actually joining the formula. The formula is the answer to the time. The formula is going to build upon itself because the system that I'm going to teach you actually makes it easier and saves you time over time because the system builds on itself and it decreases the amount of decisions that you're going to have to make over time. So it's really important that you don't let your brain think that it saves you more time to figure it out on your own or to like keep trying and researching and piecing together all these free information. And let's face it, like decades pass, right? A lot of the clients that I talk to start off the conversation saying, I've always been the bigger person. I've always been the bigger girl. And I've been trying to figure out this weight loss thing for a really long time. And I understand that like we're all busy, but this process is going to save you time in the long run. It's going to save you money in the long run from trying different things. And you're doing all of this work, you're planning, you're going to work out, and you're spending all this time and you still don't have your result. Let's nip that in the bud. Okay? Let's nip that in the bud. So today I'm going to be talking about consistency, even if you're going on vacation. And if you want to join the Fit Figure Formula, you can apply in the show notes and we'll get on a call just to see if it is a good fit. I'll learn more about you. You'll learn more about the formula, and then we'll decide if it's a good fit for us to work together. This is 16 weeks of me in your back pocket, helping you think through things like vacations, through busy seasons, through stress, through emotional eating, and helping you to actually get your result, whether it's losing weight, lowering your A1C, decreasing cravings, being able to get leaner while you're in perimenopause or menopause. This is very important. So let me dive in. If you have ever said to yourself, let me wait till I come back from vacation, maybe you're on a weight loss journey and you're like, okay, well, I got to put that on pause so that I can go on vacation. This is a self-sabotaging thought. You do not have to wait until you come back from vacation. Take care of yourself. You are always influencing your health. It goes with you every single day, even through busy seasons. So the first step that I encourage my clients to do is have a mini meeting with yourself. You need to have a meeting with yourself to decide, out of my routine, what am I going to keep? And then out of my routine, what am I going to let go of? This assumes that you have a routine, right? Because a lot of you don't already have a good routine that you're following anyway. So then, yeah, it feels like on vacation, I have to stop doing whatever I'm doing in order to actually enjoy my vacation. That's just a thought error. I can still enjoy my vacation and be strategic and intentional. That strategy and intention doesn't have to look the same as my normal everyday 9 to 5 work week, but we can make some decisions out of what's working well or what I like to do. This is going to be different every single time you go on vacation. So sit down with yourself and ask yourself, what can I continue doing? So this might look like I'm going to make sure I have a balanced breakfast. This is what I call a formula breakfast. I teach my clients this in the formula. I'm going to have a formula breakfast, and I might take water and a snack with me when I go out. And maybe I'm going to limit my drinking to like 1 drink a day or something like that. Again, it does not have to look or sound exactly like that. I help you work through the process to figure out what is going to be the best option for you. And again, that's going to change every single time based on who you're going with, the type of, vacation that you're going on, etc. But you get to decide. It could look like, okay, I'm going to take a walk every morning. I want to make sure I keep up my steps, but I'm not going to do any working out. I'm just going to walk. I'm going to make sure I get enough water. And when I go out to eat, I'm going to bag up half of everything and put that away so that I'm not like overeating when I go out to eat. It could look like, okay, I really want to make sure that I'm eating on a regular schedule, just like I normally do. So maybe you're committing to like eating on a regular schedule and having some sort of balance and maybe 1 splurge meal a day or something like that. It could be a plethora of things. Like I could go on and on about what that could look like, because what I don't want you to do is think that being intentional on vacation means that I'm taking my food scale with me and I'm measuring out my food on vacation. That is not what this is about. Okay. I want you to enjoy your vacation as well. So I know you don't want to feel restricted on vacation, but the all or nothing thinking of, well, I'm going on vacation, I'm just going to eat whatever, doesn't have to be. And I also want to say that you could have this mini meeting with yourself and you could decide that, yeah, I'm going to indulge, I'm going to drink, I'm going to have fun, and maybe I'll just make sure I hit a certain step goal. But I want you to understand that that is a decision. Don't just get to the vacation and just do that all willy-nilly and then come back with no plan, because that is a major trigger for people to fall off, and you fall off for weeks at a time. So if we know that this obstacle is coming, we can plan for the obstacle. So first step, have a mini meeting with yourself and decide, out of my routine, if I have a routine, what am I going to keep? And then what am I going to let go of? I'm going to let go of measuring out my food. I'm going to let go maybe of my workouts. I'm going to let go of, maybe having a certain amount of vegetables per day. So you decide that, because you're the CEO, you're the boss, you're getting ahead of that and you're deciding. Okay. And then the most important thing for you to decide in this mini meeting is what you're going to eat the day that you get back. So if you're coming back on a Sunday morning, right, you're going to probably have breakfast on your vacation or on the way to the airport or something. You get back home, lunch and dinner for Sunday. What am I going to have? This can be your adopted go-to meals. You can have, Instacart already locked and ready to go. You can have your groceries delivered that afternoon, but making sure that you have already pre-decided. And one of the things that I love about the formula system that I teach my clients is that when my clients build plans for themselves, number one, I teach them how to do that in minutes, but also we save those. So you can actually just go in and just say, hey, I'm just going to use what I used in the past. That means there's no thinking required. That is going to save you time, right? So you want to just make sure that you're making that decision about what to keep, what not to keep, and then what am I going to eat the day that I get back, especially if you're coming back like Sunday evening and Monday morning, you got to go back to work. Usually what happens is that whole week is just down the drain because you have not planned, you have not prepared, and you have no idea what you're going to have. You don't have groceries for the week and you're eating out all week, right? And then it's just harder to recover because you're going to see the scale go up. Typically, if you're going to go to vacation, on vacation, A lot of times you do see the scale rise a little bit. I tell my clients, don't worry about it. Let the scale do what it does. And so many times I have seen my clients will see the lowest weight they've ever seen the week after they get back from vacation. But that is because they get right back to the program. If you are not doing that and you are not prepared, that increase in scale weight after vacation then becomes real weight gain because you don't get back on your plan. Okay. So the most important thing that you can do is decide what to have as soon as you get back. And if you're a formula client, you can just grab a previous plan without even thinking about it and just say, hey, this is what I'm going to have. And you know that it's going to hit your macros. It's not just any old thing. It's something that is strategic and going to help you with your weight loss goals. Okay. Now, if you're going to be gone more than 3 days, I would highly recommend putting a midpoint meeting into the equation. So if you're going to be gone, let's say 6 days, maybe that third day you have another midpoint little mini meeting with yourself to ask yourself, these first 3 days of my vacation, what has gone well? Based on what I said I was going to keep and let go of, right, out of my routine, what has not gone well? And then how do I want to finish this trip? Sometimes we will set intentions and we'll be doing really well for like 3 days. And then somehow down the line, because we haven't checked in with ourselves, the end of the trip isn't as great. So depending on how long you're going to be gone, you want to have a midpoint meeting with yourself. Now, if you're doing like 3-week vacation or 4-week vacation or something like that, I would highly recommend at least like a once a week mini meeting with yourself, right? And that it could be once a week, or it could be like a mini meeting at night every night or every 3 days, whatever. You get to decide what that looks like for you, but decide. Like that's your power, is deciding. And so again, all you have to do is ask yourself those 3 questions. What's going well? What's not going well? And how do I want to finish this trip? Okay. So again, you may need multiple check-ins, but you're getting ahead of this. And that is as simple as it can be. So I'm calling this my vacation framework, but really you can use this framework anytime you have a break in your normal routine. So inside of the formula, I'm helping you build this system to where you don't have to keep guessing or asking, when am I going to do X, Y, and Z? It's already laid out for you. You've already made the decision based on your highest and best version, and you're working this system. And then you might have a vacation, or you might have in-laws in for the weekend, or you might have a work trip or something like that, right? You can still use this exact same process to think through and make some decisions so that you stay on track. So notice that staying on track does not mean that you're still doing everything that you were doing with your normal routine on vacation. It will look different, and that is still consistency. Because we think a lot of times that consistency means literally I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm still measuring out my food. I'm still working out 3 to 4 times per week. I'm still getting all of my intentional walks. And you feel like I don't want to have to do that on vacation. I'm not going to have time to do that. So I'm just not going to plan or be intentional or strategic at all. And that is not what we want to do. Consistency doesn't mean that it looks exactly the same from week to week. If you decide what that's going to look like, it can look different and you can still count that as consistency. Okay. So if you know that you need help getting your nutrition together through all the seasons of life, this is when your busy season, during grief, during your vacations, summer is coming. Do you have a plan? Because your summertime might look different than your normal like spring and fall time. And we can already plan for the obstacle and be using that plan, and we make the plan based on our highest and best version. So she's already made that decision, and now we get to start executing it, because every decision that we make is either a vote for your highest and best self or against her. Okay. And so we can make these plans, we can decide ahead of time, and this is going to help you reach your goals, get consistent, lose the weight for good, and don't allow these life events that happen to knock you off track. They don't have to knock you off track, even if they look a little bit different than your normal routine. But if you don't have a normal routine, I'd love to help you create that normal routine. This is going to be based off of your lifestyle. The way that I teach is I teach you something and then we practice. I teach you something else and then we practice. But everything is flexible based on your preferences for food, for timing, for your actual lifestyle, and then things like vacations or how to get yourself to get back on track when you've fallen off track. All of those things are going to be customized to you because you get to decide what that's going to look like for you. And if you know you need help with that, you should definitely apply to join the Fit Figure Formula and stop wasting time either figuring out on your own or doing good for a little while and then you're right back to square one. Like, let's tackle that. Let's master your macros. Let's master your mindset. We are adults, and a lot of us have not been taught how to eat properly. We've only been taught how to diet, which is why we keep going through this cycle over and over again. Not to mention that if you thought you had it in the bag before, perimenopause and menopause is a whole new game. So now you got to figure that out. So don't spend years trying to figure that out. Get help from a registered dietitian and mindset coach. I'm going to help you with your particular lifestyle. It's going to be custom to you, and then you can use that over and over and over again for the rest of your life. So what you learn in 16 weeks, you can take with you forever. If you guys have questions, apply to join the formula. If you haven't checked out the previous episodes on consistency, self-love, or menopause for 2026, you should definitely do those because those episodes were really, really good. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for listening to the Fit Figure Formula podcast. If you're new here and you're struggling with your fitness journey, I invite you to take a super simple next step. Click the link in the show notes for a free training. If listening to this podcast has been helpful, imagine being inside the Formula Coaching Program. You can apply for coaching with the link in the show notes. I hope to see you inside.